life. Hi everyone, a few weeks ago I Ga zitten. Even wachten. Nee, even wachten. Hi everyone. A few weeks ago I organized the dog's pantry and took a picture, and when I asked if people would like to see what all is in that cupboard, I only got yes responses. So I thought before I go on holiday I will film what we have, because on our trip to the Czech Republic, where we're headed in a few days, we will be taking a lot of the snacks. So when we get back I can't film it because it's really poor cabinet at that time. So yeah, I picked up everything from downstairs and I've got a whole bunch of stuff. So basically we've got, I would say, 3 or 4 types of treats. I have got a box full, chock full of treats that last a very long time. For a Staffordshire Bull Terrier that's debatable, but yes, treats that do last a long time, that they can chew on for extended periods. I do have some treats that are bigger, but that will last around 5 minutes to chew. And then I have some treats that are not tiny, but that I give it as a small snack around bedtime, or that I break up to be that size. And then I have training treats. So it there's kind of like 4 categories. So 2 of these I keep something of upstairs. So I've got 2 jars. They know exactly what's in the jars. I'll give them one in a bit. I've got this tiny jar which I fill half or all the way up with training treats. Right now I've got some Kibble in there. I sometimes use Kibble as training treats because Kibble is small and balanced. So on days where I do a lot of training, I sometimes take Kibble. This was Burizon, which is a German brand. I think you can get it on Zoo Plus in Europe, in many countries. The Kibble that we have at home right now, which we'll be taking on our trip, is Essential Foods Highland Living. I like that one a little bit better. So should I get Kibble again in the future for training, I have a lot of training treats here, then I will go for that one. So actually using Kibble as training treats is perfect for puppies, even if you feed raw. I would suggest using around 80% of the caloric intake raw food and 20% or so Kibble, because it keeps the diet balanced, and puppies need a balanced diet daily, so that's actually quite clever to do. I kind of just stuck to that after doing that, and it's cheaper. It's much cheaper than dried meat. So even though I usually use dried meat for treats if I go to the forest because I think it's quite high value, I usually have Kibble at home. I do keep all open bags of Kibble in the freezer, and what is put in this jar is usually emptied in a couple days or maybe a week, because the omega-3 fatty acids that are liquid, that are in the Kibble, they will degrade after a while, around 2 weeks. So I don't keep it in a jar at room temperature for too long. And sometimes I put other training treats in here as well, so I can scoop out some, that I have some variety. When I go on hikes, I want variety in treats, because it would just be more fun for the dogs. Then the other jar, I've got slightly bigger treats. So usually when we get back from their bedtime bathroom break, they get a treat, and then they know that it's time to go to sleep. So it's kind of like a ritual. I like these types of small rituals. It gives them something to look forward to, because every time we go for the bedroom walk, they're very excited. And when we get back, they wait in front of the cupboard to get these snacks. So right now I've got, I think, dried lamb. And that's the only thing in here. I usually have 2 or 3 types. Maybe there's a little bit of deer long left. So yeah, I always go for variety. So these 2 jars are filled with several types of products. So let's get to the training treats that I have at the moment. So I have 5 types of training treats. They all came from my latest Bello box because I asked for lots of training treats and lots of chew snacks for our holiday. So first up, lung. We've got lamb lung and beef lung. One type of cubes is a little bit smaller than the other. They will be a bit harder than the others. So still a little bit of difference, but kind of a similar product. Lung I would recommend feeding if your dog gets has a tendency to get overweight, because it does not have a lot of nutritional value. So that's a good recommendation. And so it has strong scent, strong flavor. My dogs love it. And then I've got, again, 2 similar types of training treats, ones that I can still cut into smaller pieces. I've got a chicken breast and duck breast. Again, great quality. They're a little bit softer, more moist, so that's a very different treat from the other one. These will be going on our trip to the Czech Republic as well with those other ones, and I will just mix them up and put them in a training treat bag and take a mix every single day, so that every time the dog get to us, they don't know if they will get a treat, how many they will get, and they do not know what they are getting, so it stays a little bit more interesting. Then these might go into the big jar that I had just now because they're a bit larger. These are cubes of dried lamb. Again, I think this was lamb. I have to double check. But yeah, same company as well, and great quality, great strong scent. All of these treats have, so I like that. All of these are single ingredient, so everything that I have here, except for the kibble that was in a small jar, everything is single ingredient. Everything is meat or fish based, so that's definitely what we feed. Should we get some dried fruits or vegetables, we would definitely feed that as well, but what we have now is meat. Yeah, that's always what you would find in a cupboard, so we do try to keep it as simple as possible and not highly processed, but yeah, we do have some kibble always. Then moving on to some of the bigger snacks, some that might go into that jar, the big jar, or that I would just feed as a snack in the afternoon, that they don't chew on that long. That final one would be these. These are pieces of lung. Because I can break them in 2, they might go into the jar. These are pieces of tripe, beef tripe, and they are very big, so I will feed those as a bit of a chew-ish snack. They would last 2 minutes or so. Then here we have 2 bags of food from a different company. These I will list everything in the description as well. These are Meaty Strips, pure meat, so not meaty strips that you would find at a cheap pat in the grocery store, but these are good quality. I've got deer and goose. Again, they are perfect to break, so I break them into 2 and use them as an evening snack, or I break them into tiny pieces on a hike, so I just take a couple strips and can break off tiny pieces when we go hiking. So I might take another bag of these as well on vacation, because we will be hiking and in a canoe, stuff like that, for 13 days straight, so they will need a lot of rewards for their good behavior. And then something else that I am not sure yet on the size. I've got 2 big tubs. I think they're 5.3 liters each of deer lung. So this is wild deer dried lung. So I think these pieces are quite big, but that's perfect, because I can either use them as the evening snack, or I can break them up, because lung is so soft, to use them as training treats. So I bought this because I like to use as much game as I can, and because this is game meat, I ordered 2. And this can be kept for a very long time. I think I can use this until February. It's July now, so I have half a year or so. Let's finish this, and there won't be an issue. We can finish this, right? The most smelly stuff that we have here is kind of goes in between the chews and the I think it's a regular big treat. They won't last as long. These are two type of fish. I think these are plaice. I don't know if that's what they're called in English. Whole fish dried. Right, I hope the lighting stays alright because it's suddenly very sunny. So those were whole fish, but we also have salmon skin. I think Bella Box that we got this from, they have two types, so one of them has meat on and one doesn't. These don't, and that makes them very tough, so they take quite some effort to chew. I think it lasted them 5 minutes the first time I fed it, so that's quite unique for something that doesn't weigh anything. And I think I'll give them one of these tonight or tomorrow because they haven't had a fish treat in a while. Okay, now we're moving on to the bigger box of chew treats. So I keep the chew treats in, it's not an airtight box, but in a box because they usually don't really come packaged and they're a little bit fatty. So, and fat doesn't dry well. But this time some of the treats did come packaged in plastic bags. Purely because we were hiking. We are going hiking. So let's start with So let's start with the treats that I am taking on a hike. Venus, sit. Sitting on top of Mojo. So I already labeled the bags. This one is for hiking. So is this one. And this one is for the canoe trip. We will be in the canoe for 3 days. So this bag has 6 treats, 1 for lunch every single day for both dogs. Hi. We will be hiking for 6 days and I've got 10 treats here. So I will also be taking another different one. Venus is inspecting. Venus! Come on, come here. Yes, fly. I'll also be taking something else, but yeah, that's kind of what we're taking on a trip. This is dried beef skin, and so is this. They're just dried in different methods, making one of them more golden, the other one a little bit more pale and yellow. And this is dried camel skin, and all 3 usually last a long time, so this will give them something to do whilst we lunch on a hiking or canoe day. And I simply like to give them something when we're on a break, so they've just done a whole lot, seen a whole lot, and then suddenly sitting still for Mojo is fine, but Venus really struggles with that. She gets bored very easily. So taking something like that on a longer break is great, and that's also another reason why we're taking a lot of training treats, so that we can keep her happy as well. The other treats that we're bringing on the holiday are these buffalo ears, so they are for day 6 of hiking, or maybe day 1 because they're quite big. Yeah, so we've got 12 treats, 6 days. Something else that we have in here is ears with fur. I think each bag has around 8 ears. We might take another bag of this for the days that we don't have the big chew treats on our trip as well. So that's what I said. Most of the treats will be gone after the holiday. But these, they come from a different website, also where I got the first kibble from. They're from Zoo Plus. I like to add some fur to their diet, and I couldn't get raw rabbit ears at first. I can now, but I used to feed these a lot, a couple times a week. Both of them would get half every other day or so, because it adds some dietary fiber. It's great for their digestion, so I definitely suggest getting some of these. If you haven't tried them already, definitely do. Then a bigger treat that also isn't, bigger treat that won't last long. Look, it's already being eaten. So these are chicken breasts. Look. Can you tell them that? Yeah, so they will get these after I finish filming the video instead of the salmon. So a very different type of treat. I've got chicken feet here, dried and puffed. I don't usually feed dried bone. These were sent to me and I will be using them in a birthday cake, I think, because they will look great as candles. But it's not something I feed often. I just don't like the idea of dried bone, because if it's not dried well, it can be quite hard. But these, so far, I've tried some for them and they have all sounded very crunchy. Not they didn't turn into shards, they just crumbled, so that's good. But it's something I don't usually buy, it's just something I got. So the final thing that I have is beef esophagus. It's something that I haven't seen before. I haven't found it in stores yet. It feels similar to a ballistic, but it's not as tough and it's not as dense because it's hollow in the middle as well. And I think this would be a great alternative to ballistics for dogs that are really small and that have difficulty chewing, or for puppies, because it's still tough, but it's not nearly as hard and dense as ballistics. So really good quality, this one as well. Nice. Life.